Okay, this is my computer that I've built. I've done an upgrade on this already. It's quite a nice case. I actually do love this case. There are some pros and cons to the case. It's a very compact case, but there are some problems with regards to um, how you can do, the wiring at the back of the motherboard. It's not enough space. There's enough space to basically tidy up the wire. That's my major problem I have with this case. But beside that, now that I've taken the side off, you can see the inside a bit more. So the first thing I did with my machine after I built it, which I've done a video of as well, is to upgrade the GPU. Now the GPU was 1660 GTX 1660 Asus one with one fan. It used to heat up quite a lot during gaming. So I upgraded to 3070 RTX Founders Edition. Managed to get hold of one of those for a good price just before the prices sort of shot up quite a lot. Actually, just afterwards, all I think was quite up. I was very lucky to get this from someone brand new. So that was really good. But the problem that I had was after I upgraded recently the CPU to the latest AMD 7 5800X, I think it's called. I can't remember now. Anyway, so when I upgraded that, the problem that I had was the temperatures to go up if the CPU had a bit of, if you literally did a bit of works, for example, rendering, if there's a bit of pressure on the CPU, your temperature would go up to about 90 degrees. Anything above 50%, it would go up quite high. And the main cause of that, I think, is because of the radiator that we've got here. Now, if I show you the radiator from a distance, how it works, you'll notice what I mean. So what I've got here is that my machine has the air that goes into cooling the radiator is only from this side here and a bit underneath. Okay, just a bit underneath, which is not sufficient, I think. So first thing I'm going to do is to get the radiator and also put this side above. It's supposed to be, as far as I know, above the pump, which isn't in this case. So that's one thing I will change. And the next thing I'm going to do is basically a bit of a workaround how to get more air into the PC is to show you what I'm going to do. So to start off with, I'm going to start taking things apart slowly and see how it works. I don't need that now. I can go. You just need a couple of screwdrivers, something with a flat head so I can take the front panel off and see how it looks. I've got to do some measuring as well to see where do I want my hole to be exactly. I don't want to be too offset or anything like that. So I'm going to get a pencil for that. And the pencil will determine exactly how I want it and where I want it. So what I've got here, the fans are about there. So that's about there. Just making a few marks to see where the fans would go. And another fan's about there. Distance that it goes in from the side is so I've made the mark roughly. I know where the fan is situated, and then I can work out from there where it needs to go. So first thing, let's just take it apart. And I think there's some wiring in the back I've got to be careful of. Probably be a good idea to take the back apart as well, but I'll look at that in a minute. So let's just see what it looks like. Yes. Here we go. So there are some problems here. Actually, it's not a major problem at all. It's very simple. I can't believe how simple this is. I've just got to take this off somehow. And there's a screw here. Undo that completely because that's sort of hidden behind it to keep it inside. Have a magnetic screw all the time. That is so useful. And here we go, the front has now come off. Now there are some problems here, as you can see straight away. Problem is the front panel comes off somehow, doesn't it? Yeah, so front panel comes off. So let's see now what it looks like. So I'm going to take some screws off from there. I think the front panel completely comes off. So I've got a problem here. I thought it would be a simple flat space. It looks like it's not. Next thing to do is to see where the fan is. Okay, so I might not be able to do exactly where I want it because I've got the LED light here strip that comes up to about that much. So there's always a complication, isn't it? Always a complication. So I have to miss this area out completely and do the fans about there, centralize it to there. So it's not a problem. It just is going to go about roughly about there. Okay, that might just do the trick. A bit lower down than I would like, but I have to do that anyway. So next thing to do is see if I can take this apart, take the front panel off. I'm going to have to do 2 cuts. 1 cut for the first plastic bit, because another bit underneath it, which if I unscrew the top bit just comes off. And let's have a look anyway. Let's have a look what it looks like underneath. So I'm actually modifying the case itself. There's the little thing I was talking about. Straighten up. Oh dear. The LED bits just come off. The LED strip has just come off, so you've got to be careful with that. Put it away somewhere. So that leaves me with what I didn't realize is a metal. This is aluminium. Okay. Oh, right. So that's going to cause a bit of a problem. Because how do I cut through aluminium? Just to show you what I'm doing right now, I've taken the thing off, and as I said, the front is metal, which is basically aluminium. So I've got to find a way of cutting the aluminium without damaging it too much. This is the cover that's going to go from the other side, of course. So I'm going to make up a grid of where the cutting is going to be. It's quite a simple process. You've got 2 little pins that sticks out like this. That's just going to go in with a hole in the middle. So the hole in the middle can be the size of basically from this corner to this corner. So that's the size that I've got to dig it cut a hole in. So I'm just measuring up to see how far they are. So that's basically exactly 8 centimeters, 8.567 centimeters, so 8.7 centimeters, 5, 6, 7 centimeters that I need to cut. To be honest, if I do 8.5, 6, 7, 8 would be the best. So 8.8, and this should be the same as well. I'm guessing 8.8. So that's the size of the hole that's going to be in here. So I'm just measuring this up now on one end to see if I can get this in there now. So the tool that I'll be using is the multi-tool. I've got the wooden blade on here. It's okay for the plastic, as we'll go through it quite easily. But when it comes to cutting the metal piece here, this is where I'm going to be having some problems with, and I need to make sure I get the right tool for that, because I've got to get that just right, and that's going to be, I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I'll figure something out. That's the main thing. So what I need to do now is I've sort of made the line that I need it in, so I'm going to start getting that straightened up. Maybe I'll use this, probably be easier. It's quite hard to do because you've got the little bits that are sticking out, but somehow I'm going to do 1 cut first, then do a line on this side and work from that cut on the other side. So if I get one line straight, then I know where, because I made a line here, you see, When I get that line straight, then I know exactly where to cut from. Bought this, to buy this for £5. It's a sort of a multi-tool for metal cutting. It's supposed to cut through nails and everything else, so it should be quite good. We'll try this out now and see how it goes. So now that I've put the plate on the front and the plastic at the back, I put the grill on there. I've got some cleaning up to do, get rid of some rubbish, sort of like a pencil marks everywhere. Maybe use a rubber for those, but this is how it looks. And from my eyesight, I've done this. Actually, it wasn't a perfect measurement, so you can see it's still very good the way it looks, and there should be enough air going through it. And I'm going to put it all back together again and see how that looks, and clean up, which I'll do inside now. So now to clean up the job a bit more, put the grill off, give it a good clean with wipes, find a rubber. So I'm going to keep it very simple and going to use a tape for now to see how well it operates. There's no point fixing it down. I was going to use some sort of rubber stuff and put it into the hole here. But for now, all I'm going to do is literally just get some of this grey tape. They're quite heat resistant anyway, so, and just literally put it on the top. Work your way down and it's in, and that should hold it for a while. Actually, put 4 of those on there, and that should do the job. Just straight onto the top. I'm done. To be honest, that will be very strong to hold it, and it will hold it for longer. And if I do take it off, it's quite easy to do that too. And that's how it looks. Oh. It looks quite straight. I'm surprised how straight that looks considering how it was. The next bit to do is basically I want to see if I can turn this around and put this bit on the top. So for me to do that, I will need to unscrew from the front. A different screw this time. So it should be a simple process. He said. So now first thing to do is to see, I might have to put these wires on the other side so it's easily you can put it at the back so it doesn't show from the front. Just to show you the back, so the front will look like this with the 3 fans letting all the air in as much as possible. I was thinking at one point to change the fans to better ones maybe, but I think they're doing the job, so I'm going to keep them on. Looking at the back, this is where it gets very messy, and because of the gap, which you can see about there, only about a couple of, not even a centimeter, so it's very limited space, makes it difficult to do cable tidy at the back. But anyway, so I'm going to carry on with basically turning things around and moving things about, and let's see how it turns out at the end. Okay, now time to give it a good hoover, get things sort of cleaned up as much as possible. Okay, now let's put the fans back in. I've got double fan on here, which I've with other testing I've seen with double fan on the radiator, it increases the airflow more for some reason. So I'm using that technique to see if it makes any difference. And these fans are quite good because if there's more pressure coming from the other fan on the other side, well, there's plenty of gaps to get through anyway. And this one will pull more towards the inside of the case. So either way, it is a quite good idea to do that if you can double. Okay, now this one's here. I'm not putting that many screws on here, just 2, because I haven't got that many screws to put on, to be honest. Okay, so far everything's been quite smooth, but just taking a bit longer time. The next bit to do is basically connect all the wires up where they need to be, work out which is what. So this is for the power, this is for the light. I've got my thingy there, connect this up, make sure the plus 12 goes in the arrow bit there. What I'd like to do as well, because they come off quite easily, just going to put a little bit of tape on there. There we go. Just running the Cinebench on the system now. As you can see, it's 100% load on the graphics card. Oh, actually graphics card is not doing that much, but it's 100% load on the CPU, and it's gone up to 89 degrees straight away. It's keeping steady, which is not bad. At that rate, you should have been hitting 90 quite easily, but I think the fan is sort of kicked in. You can hear that I've got two fans here. This is kicked in. These only come on if the temperature reaches a certain temperature. I think I set it about 50 or 60 degrees. I can't remember now. And they sort of escalate to higher rates of RPM depending on the temperature again of the CPU. So the front one, the black ones there, they're running at their optimum as well. So let's see how the temperature is. So it did hit 90 degrees. So I don't know. This is 100% though. So my Tesla, I've noticed the biggest difference is when I was doing the video editing and just doing the rendering of it. So we'll test that out as well. So right now you can see that was the last one. What was it now? Yeah, that's the 5.8C 16. Okay, let's see where it comes to at the end. To be honest, on 100% load, it's at 90 degrees, not bad, considering it was about 60 odd on the load, and it was hitting about 90 when I first noticed the difference. Now that you've sort of seen what it does on 100, straight away the load's gone down to 4%, and you can see the temperature dropping very, very quickly. 53. That's really good. That's really good. I'm quite pleased with that. And we're going to try it in a second with the video editing on to about 60% load. Let's see what it does. I've started the rendering. I'm not really doing the video on the system itself. I've just started the rendering on this, and the load is down to 66. Okay, let's see if it hits the... Not much of a difference. Well, at about 50 odd load, it was hitting about 90 degrees before, but today it's sort of staying to about 77. Actually, I'm quite pleased with that. It dropped a few degrees. So that's about 60. Yeah, at this point when I was doing the same video editing and the same sort of rendering, it sort of came to a 90 degrees, but it's keeping to about 78 degrees where it was 90. So it's a big difference, about 10 degrees difference. Not bad. Excellent. I think I made a good choice there of making the hole on the front to let more air in.